What is up, metal and heavy music fans? It's Flight of Icarus again with MetalTrenches.com, and these are some lesser known bands that I would recommend to fans of Jinjer. And hey, if you like to be kept up to date with the best and brightest metal bands and albums from the underground and above, then stick with me by hitting that subscribe button down below. Eths is a French band led by one Rachel Asp, who some may recognize from this classic talent show clip that was making the rounds a few years back. Unfortunately, I don't think that this band is still active, but their 2016 album Ankaa really stuck with me with its mixture of technical musicianship and Rachel's often exotic sounding approach to the vocal delivery. Once more, there is so much groove here, but one that is always equally matched in proportion with clever songwriting and able performances. The bass and the guitar tone matched with the mathy, cataclysmic nature of the riffs leaves devastation in its wake, and the album features a pretty diverse array of style and pacing over its runtime. Defunct or not, Eths is very much still a band that is worth revisiting. Then we have Finnish progressive metal band Humavoid, which has a lot in common with early Meshuggah, but with dual vocals and a fun twist. Keytar. I just got a new keytar, it's like a keyboard and guitar. I didn't really need this shit, I just really wanted it. This is played by lead vocalist Suvi Marja, who in addition to delivering a similarly dynamic mix of harsh and clean vocals, even brings a similar energy to the stage as Tatiana. Their 2020 album Lidless is an absolute machine of 8-string guitars, catchy synth hooks, and polyrhythmic groove, landing at a spot on my favorite metal albums of that year. High energy and a highly unique take on the genre. I strongly recommend giving this band a listen and also checking out the discussion we had on the podcast. Mask of Judas is a UK group that, as stated by the band, brings a new age of sensibility to progressive metal, fusing together the thunderous 8-string grooves with lead acrobatics alongside vocal performances that range from soul and R&B to the outer perimeters of death metal, even going so far as to call their 2019 album The Mesmerist a trip through the genre kaleidoscope. This group has a lot of talent on display down to each and every member, with vocalist Joe Challen in particular delivering an impressively versatile performance. At the time, I described her as a female Spencer Sotelo with a dash of the Mars Volta and sprinkling of Evanescence and Sevendust. Meanwhile, the riffs warrant comparisons to everything from Protest the Hero on tracks like Alive to Sikth on Sycophant. Plenty of parallels to be drawn here, point being this is another one of those deeply slept on bands that deserve more attention with the work that they are putting in. Then there's Letters from the Colony, which is a Swedish band that combines death metal, metalcore, and jazz to deliver one of the most ignored Nuclear Blast releases of 2018 in Vignette. It's a real shame that so few were talking about this album because these guys fucking rule. They possess the heaviness and freeform jazz of Meshuggah, but also the more sporadic and modernized mathcore elements of, again, Sikth. Vignette constantly oscillates between these two genty polarities to varying degree, sometimes breaking down into the dark headbanging territory of their Swedish brethren, others getting more playful with mathy improvisations in line with Car Bomb and I Wrestled a Bear Once. I even hear hints of Gojira seeping into certain chord progressions, particularly on Terminus and the opening riff of Sunwise. On the latter, that repeating chugga chugga squeal pattern is straight out of From Mars to Sirius. Chances are you also slept on this when it came out, out, but now is as good a time as any to correct course. Then we have another French band in the Dali Thundering Concept, which I would also recommend for fans of After the Burial, which is particularly apparent when listening to the djenty grooves and harmonics of The Myth of Happiness. The guitars and drums are both highly accessible and impressively technical, drawing on plenty of other popular influences. These elements alone would have been enough to leave me ruthlessly addicted to their 2018 album Savages, but also throws in a few curveballs to keep things interesting. This is apparent with the strange atmospheric electronic journey that is Cassandra, the jazz roots on Utopia, and going full Whiplash on Demeter.
Not quite my tempo.
Complete with Fire Walk With Me muted trumpet before unleashing the full ensemble. Suffice it to say that the Dali Thundering Concept is a unique and interesting band that, like most of the others on this list, deserves far more attention. And wouldn't you know it, as I was editing this video, they have dropped a new song, God Is Dead, Long Live Man, from the upcoming album Almighty Men Drifting Through the Prosthetic Era, due out November. Seems they've still got it, and with a few new tricks at that. Add this to my list of highly anticipated albums in 2021. And as long as I've said their names so many times at this point, honorable mention to UK mathcore legend Sikth. People who know the genre know the name, but for those who don't, long before Periphery were bringing their highly melodic and progressive brand of technical gentry, Sikth were doing it in the underground going all the way back to 1999. Furthermore, their often bizarre and eclectic twists and turns, as well as their trademark noodly guitar riffs, seem to have more than likely rubbed off on the musicians responsible for Jinjer one way or another. And y'all, those are some bands that I would recommend if you are a big fan of Jinjer. But don't go anywhere, I have plenty more videos for you to check out. I have a recent list of my favorite female-fronted bands, including Jinjer, Spirit Box, and more that you can definitely check out. Looking forward to reviewing both of their albums when they come out. I've got full album reviews of plenty of other new releases, tier lists, interviews, you name it, we've got it, so plenty of reasons to subscribe if you have not already. And if you enjoyed the video, hit that like button and comment below what other bands would you recommend to people who enjoy Jinjer. You can also chat with us on Discord and support on Patreon, but that'll do it for now. Flight of Icarus signing off. I will see you in the trenches.